So we thought we'd kick off first by asking what made you become an investor in the first place?
Well, for me, investing is about two things. It's about my time and it's also about money. So I look at these things from two perspectives, and it was really driven by spending a lot of time working in large corporates where I loved doing disruptive stuff, but just found it was so difficult. There's something about a lot of large corporate DNA that just stops disruptive invention, new business models, because they just don't get them. And so I saw the incredible change that some of the disruption could make, both financially to companies, but also far more importantly to actually just the way people live their lives. And I wanted to find a way to use all the experience I had just to help more of that happen. And that really was why I made the switch from kind of more corporate life into being an investor and working with more startups and high growth companies. For me, I like to be involved in the companies that I invest in. I don't really make investments and then walk away. So then for me, it's actually about, can I add some value to the company? So does the skill set I have actually help them to get to where they want to get to? And so for me, it's always about money and time and a combination of those two things. And therefore, do I feel I can make a difference to them and the stage that they're at, really? So, I think that for me is the other thing, big thing. Do I like the people and can I make a difference?
What kind of advice would you give to somebody considering investing in startups?
I think you need to think about why you're doing it. It's back almost to the first question you asked of, what is it that you're doing this for? Because if you're doing it solely with the goal of making money, you should probably think again. Because actually the odds in terms of startup investing, if you don't have a degree of sector specialism or technology specialism to understand where you put your money, the odds of investing aren't that great. So if you're doing it because actually you want to see new disruptions, new technologies, new things that drive the economy happening, and if you make some money along the way, that's great. That's a much better starting point.
So have you seen any change in early stage investment over the last few years?
Yes, I think that actually there have been quite a lot of changes in both early stage investment and later stage investment. There are a number of people now who've made money themselves in the past through the tech world, both money made corporately and money made in startups, that are starting to almost parent their own startups. And so, you see people who have exited and made a reasonable amount of money, then going and investing in 5 or 6 companies, sometimes actually started by people who work for them in the place that they made a lot of money. And then following on from that, you've seen a number of, high net worth individuals, from sports people through, people with land, etc., looking to diversify, where their investments are, kind of follow where some of that money goes. And so actually people have been able to get a lot further before needing early stage VC investment than perhaps they would have done 5 years ago. So, I think there has definitely been that growth of, kind of angel type investing, but people who are not corporate financial investors, people who are investing as individuals.
So for those people that are interested in becoming an investor in startups who perhaps haven't got the experience in tech, for example. Have you got any specific advice for them?
Yeah, I mean, actually, there are a number of syndicates around who are individuals from a huge variety of backgrounds who pool their money and make investments together. And, you know, a couple of times a month, they'll have a number of startups come in, pitch to them, and, you know, you can have from 8 to 20 people in the room. And if you are if you're a good business person, but you're less familiar with the technology, then I think some of those kind of groups could be a great way to listen to the input from other people who perhaps had a little bit more of that technology experience, and use your own business nous and experience to say, okay, actually, if that person says that and that person says that and I've seen this, then yeah, you know, I'll co-invest with these people. And actually some of those kind of groups of investors are able to put a little bit more money in by the time they pull their money together, which actually in many ways reduces the risk, because it gives the startup a bit more runway to really develop their idea before they're needing to go out for money again. So there are a number of those kind of groups and forums now that exist. So I would certainly recommend, you know, looking around and thinking about trying to join one of those.